Next, let's queer up trans rights. Elon Musk slams new California bill that guides families of trans kids during divorce. A new California bill headed to the governor's desk will force judges to weigh which parent is better at affirming their kid's gender during a nasty divorce, which Elon Musk thinks is BS. The Twitter/X chief lashed out online, denouncing the proposed law as outrage. This comment came as the word came down that California's state legislature had passed the controversial legislation AB 957 after it got voted on in the state assembly by a wide margin. He wrote, quote, "This bill is a wolf in sheep's clothing," end quote. The new bill pertains to family court. Basically, judges will now have to take into consideration whether a child is better suited to live if the parents are fighting over custody, and gender affirmation is going to be a new key criteria in making that determination. It's not the only thing a judge will mull over, but it will officially be part of the list. So if one parent is resisting their child transitioning, that could spell trouble in front of a judge. Clearly, Elon feels a certain way about it, echoing conservatives who were also angry, not to mention certain advocacy groups who've been protesting the bill for months. The reason it's interesting coming from Elon is because of his own family history. It's no secret that Musk has a transgender child who was assigned male at birth, but has since transitioned to female. I think Elon Musk is just mad that trans women are better lovers than him.
Well said.
I'm sorry, but Elon Musk, I think he has such a gripe with the transgender community because, well, one, of jealousy, and two, because he feels emasculated by them, and his masculinity is just so fragile that he can't stand to see trans people living their own lives. And I think, to be honest, this bill is important, especially considering that youth experience high suicide rates with parents who don't affirm their gender. When a child gets, when a parent gets the child's pronouns wrong, that child has about 50% increase of committing suicide. So bills like these are very important to protect children and to continue aiding them in their transition.
It's interesting to me. Let's talk about the bill specifically a moment, not Musk. It's interesting to me that first and foremost, there's a compare and contrast of what California can do and what Florida cannot. This law is impossible in Florida.
Oh, absolutely.
It passes. It gets through the House overwhelming in its overwhelming majority. Yes. There's radical evangelicals and there's radical GOP that are against it, but they're a very significant minority voice. Overwhelmingly, there's the support here. And the argument overwhelmingly by media, editorial boards of newspapers in California, by the general public of support of this. What we're watching in terms of the attacks on trans community is different here in California. Because at the end of the day, this bill is saying, if it comes down to a decision of where we're going to make decisions on custody, this has to be a consideration point. Because why would you put a trans child in a household that is adverse and objectioned to the trans child?
It's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Yes.
And that's what this law is about. And these kind of voices, including his, just tears the narrative away to try to move from the trans youth that needs protection to the politics of trans, and the exact reason why it shouldn't be listened to.
Now, I would like to bring it back to Musk for a little bit. You talked on his horribleness on trans issues. I'd just like to pile on a little bit. There's a new book out today by Walter Isaacson. It's been well hyped. Some of it's already being walked back, but basically it talks about how he has potentially interfered in the Ukraine war, how he's basically running his own shadow diplomacy. The Financial Times has been reporting on this since March. Rowan Farrow had a great article on it last month. He's just a bad person, and he's got his outsized wealth is giving him outsized influence in the world. I mean, he is a dangerous, dangerous person. And Pharaoh pointed out that his lines that he comes out basically parrot whatever Russia has just said or what Republican talking points for the day are. He might have never talked about it before, but then all of a sudden he has a phone call with Putin or someone in the Republican Party, and that's what's on X/Twitter.
Well, with 11 kids, we all know that his paternal history isn't great, especially since Vivian took their mother's surname, got rid of the name Musk and took their mother's surname. That's Happy Father's Day.
Can we take that even one step farther? Elon Musk might have some credibility in talking about what family court decision making should be in California if he didn't have his own experiences.
Yeah, right.
The new book that you just referenced, I read an entire excerpt that they've published on it, talking about his relationship with his father. And his father and him have not spoken in years and years and years. And the reason is, principally, supporting Elon Musk, that his father was a horrible, horrible person and damaged the psyche of Elon Musk as a child on how badly he was treated as a child growing up by his father, which is why Elon Musk never wanted to have anything more to do with his father, including communicating with him. It's interesting to me, at the top of the tree, that's the relationship of parent and child. Then he has a child that dislikes now her father so much that she goes, I want nothing to do with him. I don't want his name. I don't want association with him. I don't want any possibility that we will flow back and forth together. And I'm willing to go so far as to giving up billions of dollars of inheritance. And this is the voice we're going to listen to about family planning in California. I'm sorry, Elon Musk, you don't have an ounce of credibility to tell Californians what or how the courts should decide what happens to children in family situations.
Let's just say his trans child is not ending up in his home.
That's right.
According to California. It's been made.
California decided. Right?
That's right.
We are Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only live daily LGBTQ+ evening news show, brought to you from Happening Out Television Network. We operate in the same model of PBS and NPR, but for the LGBTQ+ community. We educate, inform, and entertain by supporting the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community, with more than 100,000 a week watching us on Roku, Apple Television, and other channels. To keep the story going, we accept donations with 100% transparency. Stay updated and live authentically with Queer News Tonight.